Duel Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com. On today's Duel Review, Marvel Reboot? I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it.
Welcome to July 11th. It is Wednesday, and we are doing the Marvel Reboot.
That's right. And they're really adamant about not calling it a reboot. It's not. It isn't really a reboot. We just use that term because, you know, we're familiar with the whole New 52 is a reboot, and it's not really.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit, but whatever. So they're, again, they're real adamant about it not being a reboot. It is a jumping in point for anybody who's, you know, like trepidatious about getting into the storylines, which we've complained about several times.
Yes.
So it seems like this sort of thing might be, you know, for everybody. But we, obviously, like everything, we have issues with it. Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is, boy, they're sure following DC.
That's exactly
they never do that. They don't follow DC. Why are they following them now? Obviously, it's because, you know, a lot of us have been giving DC another chance.
Right.
Honestly, that's what it is.
They've been watching our show. They say that we enjoy the new 52, and they're like, oh, well, we need to do something to cater to these two guys.
You enjoy it way more than I do. But
I believe you're right.
You know, we're like, I don't know. I never liked DC very much. I know there's a lot of DC fanboys, and, you know, pardon me if I'm not trying to insult you. I personally have never been grabbed by anything more than Batman on the DC side. So the New 52, you know, I am spending some money to give it another chance, right. And some of them have made me happy I did. But anyway, so obviously Marvel's responding to that. See, that's the thing, is they're not responding to the DC is now way better because they released the New 52. It's that they got more money because they, you know, whatever. So I kind of have a problem with that right off the bat. I mean, maybe they are trying to simplify things and whatever, but we'll see. I mean, they talk about the Avengers, and I think they're calling them. See, that's another thing, is at least New 52 had the New 52. I guess these Marvel are going to be Marvel Now. I guess that's the tagline.
Is it?
But it's still like Uncanny X-Men. It's like, oh, well, don't we have like 18 Uncanny X-Men books already? I mean, it's so irritating that there's still no new naming convention that helps. But I guess a quick aside is that one thing that they're intent on doing differently is that they're going to scrap the whole, you know, top third Marvel thing, or at least they're tinkering with the idea. And a lot of the pictures you'll see of the Now relaunch have all the information like on the bottom or whatever, just because they want the full page at the artist's discretion to make the best cover ever. Because, you know, this was originally for newsstands, so that's really all you saw. You know, they were staggered like this. That's all you saw. They were either staggered, you know, like this, or they were staggered like this, you know, kind of thing. So you always had to have the name of the title, the publishing company, the issue, all that stuff. We're going to be reviewing these next week. You had to have all that stuff, you know, in that area. So now they're just kind of like, we're going to give the artist the ability to do more like movie posters. That's really their thing. And if you go to Marvel.com, they have an article about a question and answer session, and that's one of the things he says is like, they asked him like, oh, well, you know, we want you to talk to the gang at the retreat or whatever about doing covers and what covers are successful and whatever. And instead of going to comics, he decided to go to movies and kind of talk about what movie posters are successful and why. So that led to it. Did I cut you off?
Well, all I was going to say was that at the comic shop, usually they're kind of, I mean, unless they're brand new and sitting in the nice new area, they kind of stagger anyways. So. Yeah,
that's the thing is that was my first thought too, is like, well, actually, because it was like the newsstand is completely obsolete, you know, whatever. And it's like, oh, actually not. I mean, there's, again, when we go to the comic stop, they usually have them, you know, they have the first one, whatever. They have them all behind. So you're looking for Aquaman or whatever, you'll get issue the latest, and then behind it would be the other issues. So that's the way they do it. They present it all in one. But like my other comic book shop that I'm very loyal to in Everett, they still have actual newsstand, you know, areas. So you only see the top third of each book. But anyway, whatever. I have no problem with that. I wanted to do that with my own books. I just wasn't fast enough, apparently. You know, I just want to kind of do whatever I want to do. I mean, obviously the barcode has to be somewhere, the UPS code. And it should have issue on there.
Right.
But
what I was going to say was that if you've seen a lot of the Image comics, first of all, they were doing the opaque logo, and a lot of the information was kind of minimalistic, you know.
Well, another one of my favorite books, like Lady Mechanica.
Right.
She has like the issue number in the title somewhere, but it's not like in the corner or whatever. You have to kind of look to find it.
Right. It's incorporated into it.
Into the artwork, yeah. So whatever. So that's kind of fun. The major thing about the reboot, the jumping in point, Marvel Now, and I, sorry if I'm being condescending. I do think it's kind of silly that they're just jumping on the bandwagon.
Right.
But it could yield some good things. But the biggest thing is that they're going to take some of our most beloved characters. That's the thing, is they're messing with the Avengers and they're messing with the X-Men. And after the events of AVX, that's what they're using to say that that spurns this jumping off point. They're going to mix and match, and they're redoing costumes again, which, why? You don't need to, I don't know. I don't really want to see Hulk in armor, and I don't know if he's going to be, he is in this, in the picture that they show, and they show Cyclops with, instead of, he has an X in his face, but again, they're quick to point out, like, it could or could not be the actual Cyclops, Scott Summers, it might not be, I don't know, it probably is.
I don't know.
I have no idea if he's going to shoot X's out of his head.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Because we complain all the time about the storylines and branching off, but It doesn't matter when they start. It's just that they do it. So does this mean that the Ultimate Universe is now going to be cut off, or is it going to continue going? That's my biggest problem. Is these other freaking alternate universes, which I understand the point of it, but I can't follow. I don't know what to follow. It's so aggravating. It's like, oh, did that happen in Ultimate Universe or the real universe? It's like,
and if it happened in the real universe, did it happen on which Earth? Which
Earth 22 or 420, whatever. Yeah. So that's the real problem. But I am kind of excited about, Bendis is a big part of it, and Cassidy is a big part of it. Right. They're getting some good art from him, and apparently Bendis, if you read on Marvel.com, and there's other people who have released it, they just announced it, and the first book won't come out till October, I think. And the first book I think is Avengers, and followed by X-Men: The New Take. And I think it's like Uncanny Avengers and Ultimate Uncanny X-Men. I don't freaking know.
Ultimate Uncanny.
I don't know what it is. But Bendis is going to be bringing back the original X-Men team, like literally into the future, to respond to, death and change and all that stuff. So they're going to be like, oh, that's what happened to me? I'm a real dick. You know what I mean? Like, that might be interesting, but it also might be really gimmicky. I don't know.
Didn't they do that?
But Bendis is in control of that.
Well, I'm happy that Bendis is doing it, because I love Bendis' work. But
and apparently he's really excited. If you believe the article, he's super excited about it. So
yeah, I don't know. Okay. What I'm looking forward to is, yes, we have always complained that there is no good jumping in point when it comes to comics, because, you're sitting there like, oh, should I follow this? And then it breaks off into 6 other freaking comics, and you're like, oh, but now I have to get all of those because it kind of ties in somehow.
They're very specific in saying that we're going to start these books. So if you're worried about whatever, you can get right in after this event, the AVX. What they don't say is that they're going to streamline it.
Right.
So I think it's still going to branch off to all, hell. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to...
No, it's fine. I was going to bring that up. I am hoping that they do streamline it, as you said, but they probably won't, which is unfortunate. I am looking forward to new costumes. I happen to be one of those guys who loves new costumes.
Okay. They were talking about AVX being like actually kind of the first. Like, if you love AVX, then you'll love all this other stuff, because that's where we're going. But I don't see that big of a difference in AVX, and I'm still irritated with how many AVX stuff there is. Like, I haven't even ventured into all of them because I just can't. Right. It's just so many to dip my toe into. It's like, are they going to be releasing, like New 52? At least you have if you wanted to follow them all, you'd have several a week, but still, it's fairly slow. So maybe they'll do that, so it's a little bit more accessible. But I don't want to buy them all, and so when I don't want to buy them all, then I'm going to be waiting like 2 months for the next. I don't. So a lot is left to be explained.
Right.
Have you seen the new team for Avengers? It's kind of interesting.
No.
It's in the shot. There's Thor as well, but it's Captain America, it's Rogue and Havoc, it's Cyclops, it's Wolverine. Actually, maybe not Cyclops. I take that back. It's Wolverine, and I think they mentioned Scarlet Witch will be in there, and so it's going to be a real hybrid. But I don't know why Rogue and Havoc are in there.
So what happens to Iron Man?
I'm sure he's still in there too, but the core team they announced, the big shockers are Rogue and Havoc. But there's already been opinions online buzzing about that Rogue has been possessed by Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel.
Right.
And then Havoc is making up for possibly a horrible thing that Cyclops did at the end of AVX that we still haven't seen yet. So they're kind of anticipating that there's going to be a huge fallout and that Cyclops might actually die. In fact, they've hinted at that. So spoiler, I guess. I don't know. It's just
so I guess it would have to be a new Cyclops with the X.
Yeah, exactly. See all these things. That's what it kind of leads to, and that's why people are, coming up with that theory. Which would be no problem for me. I don't like Scott Summers at all, so I never have. But Havoc is not really that compelling. But that's another thing, is they want to take some of these benched characters and make them more compelling, much like 52 did, or tried to do in my case for some of them. So I guess I'm looking for it. I wouldn't mind a little mix-up, but again, I'm one of those weird ones that actually would like you know what? Fuck the current storylines. We're starting all over. We're going to take these new characters in new directions and blah, blah. And that's kind of what they tried to do with Ultimate, but they just ended up kind of the exact same.
Following the same storyline and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, really the same personalities and whatever, whatever. So I can understand that they really can't do that because there'd be so many fans that would be outraged.
Yeah.
But I would actually I would enjoy, even honestly, if they didn't change anything and they just did a retelling, like in today's, era, just changed a few things here and there and redid the art, I would like that, because there's so much storyline that I have not followed that I would like to experience for the first time, instead of reading it on a Marvel encyclopedia.
Right.
So I'm kind of one of those weird ones. But what I'm not looking forward to is, I don't know. It's like after this major event, now Captain America is, busy eating Twinkies all the time. So we're going to go focus on Havoc and, whatever. I'm not really...
Well, he has the metabolism where he could do that and not...
I'm just saying, he's like, put him on the bench and then we'll put the other characters. It's like, well, these characters are popular for a reason. And I don't think they'll do that because whatever, but...
It's Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, these are their staples, so I don't think they'll probably still like Wolverine, Wolverine is part of the new, whatever. A lot of people were hoping that Wolverine would die in AVX.
See, the problem is that they put out these comics and they say this is what's going to happen, and then they switch it up in the, like...
I don't know if they're still like writing it and they're still waiting. You're waiting for people's response, and then they do the opposite.
I don't know if you've read Wolverine's The End, but it illustrates when Wolverine, how long Wolverine lives and what happens towards the end of his life, So it's like you can't kill off Wolverine because that hasn't happened, and you already said that's going to happen. And then then they're just going to say, oh well, that was an alternate reality. That's just a possibility.
Exactly.
It's like that's so
like
cheap.
Bishop and like they had Wolverine's skeleton and whatever. Whatever. Yeah, and then Age of Apocalypse now, this, whatever. So, I don't know. It's really hard with comics because there's so many writers and artists involved. Right. You don't want to stifle them. They should be able to do whatever they want.
But you're all trying to cram it into this one universe with the same characters. Yeah. It just doesn't work. Honestly, what I think these companies should do, Marvel and DC, is have branching universes. So if you're going to have a new universe, call it something else. Say, this is
That's one thing. It's just the titling, just something completely unique that we can easily understand.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, even if you did do Ultimate or whatever, like, even if you had some stupid adjective before at least just keep it that way. There's no tie-ins. There's no time cross-dimensional,
Right, but what I'm saying is more than that. Create new characters, because So you have the Marvel universe with Spider-Man, the X-Men, Avengers, and then over here you have the Ultimate universe where none of those characters intertwine with these characters. These characters, I don't know, are something else.
Yeah, that would be awesome, but that would limit like tie-in stuff. When I was a kid, they used to hardly ever tie in, and I was always like, I can't wait till I want to see Wolverine with Spider-Man and all that stuff.
Right.
And then now that's all we got.
Yeah.
So why can't they do whatever? We're gonna try to do it different ourselves, but that's all we can do. So I am trepidatiously excited. I don't know how to say that.
Reserved excitement.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what's going to happen, how they're going to really approach this. I am definitely looking to some of the new storylines, although the past X-Men in the future right off the bat does not appeal to me.
Right, that's
but we'll
kind
see.
of jarring.
We'll see. I mean, if Bendis is in control, apparently there's some secret project he's been working on that everybody's excited about. I just wish he'd do more Scarlet, but apparently that's just been benched indefinitely.
Yeah, I
don't
so.
think we'll ever get any more Scarlet, which sucks. Because that was we were talking about where's the future comics going? Well, realistic. Not so much, at least not yet. New 52 certainly has not been less magic or any of that crap.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I would bring up the point that one of Superman's main weaknesses is magic, and so they really can't get rid of magic,
Well, they could change his character.
You're right, they could, if they so choose.
Anyway. All right, guys. Well, we just wanted to let you know because when my comic book guy told me, that's how I first found out. I was like a day late because it had been announced like a couple days ago.
Right.
And I was like, what? And so I went home and researched it, and we, got talking and thought we'd, present it to you in case any of you guys missed it. It'll be interesting to see if it's just a coattails thing or if it's genuine, that's where they wanted to go and whatever.
I think we should all make a mass message to comic book creator to the publishers and just say, look, we need something streamlined. We need something kind of easy to follow. And if you branch off into other things, don't go too far. Don't freaking flood the place because we're not going to buy all of your comics, period. Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
I wonder how much of this, because they always switch artists and writers and whatever. And I understand the writer part of it, but I wish that artists would stick with books. Now, I don't know if that would be unfair to the artists.
I think it would be.
But it's just like, oh, well, now Ultimate is more like, the regular because it's got the new writer team or whatever. Yeah. That's what I don't like. It just jumps around so much. So it's like, oh, do you like this story arc? Well, then you're probably, this one's way different. So, but it's in the same book. And it just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's very true. The Ultimate Universe started off with a certain feel to it. And then it just became like everything else in Marvel. So you have Uncanny X-Men, Ultimate Spider-Man. They're the same thing almost.
So take everything we say with a grain of salt. Yes. We just really understand that you can't follow it all. So hopefully they'll make it a little easier. I do like the whole, it's a good thing for people who have been like, hey, I like Captain America, but I haven't really read any books because I don't know where to get in. Then this is great. Hopefully that will be communicated to the masses and we'll have more comic book readers because comics are the way of the future.
I did notice that that Marvel especially is starting to put the little on the front cover, the front faces.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
They're starting to put the faces with the names so that they're easily followed throughout the book. This way you're not like...
Yeah, but see, that's going to change.
Huh?
That's going to change.
Really?
Oh, you mean in the beginning? I see.
Yeah, like in Age of Apocalypse, it starts off with the pictures.
Yeah,
they started doing that more often.
Before I forget, they are also doing every book in this new release, in this new jumping in point, is all going to be free digital copies. That's freaking awesome.
Yes.
They're also going to have the augmented reality stuff in most of the books. That's cool. I mean, although, it requires that you have my iPad is first generation, so it doesn't have a camera, and I kind of prefer that way because I don't want it to be hacked and look at me while I'm, whatever. Like, I don't really want that on the internet.
That would be awesome.
But I can still do it with my iPhone. But the only problem is the iPhone is too small.
Right.
It's on the internet.
Yeah, anyway. It's on the internet now.
So, but it's still, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's the way of the future.
Yes.
Is that what you're going to say? Is I can't do it yet.
But, yeah, I can't do it yet.
Yeah, but it is cool. And I have lots that I haven't done yet. Honestly, I haven't done all the AVXs. I just did the first couple, and I couldn't see some of them. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll wait till I have a bigger format, whatever. But at least I know it's there, and that's cool. It's added content. It makes that $4 price tag much more worth it to get a digital copy and a bunch of extra stuff.
Yeah, very true.
So that I'm definitely looking forward to. That is awesome. So anyway, more details as we get them, and I think that's it. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, tell us what you think.
Check out our wares on SpiderWolf.com and watch our Duel review channel on YouTube. We got a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Today's Wednesday. Are we putting out anything?
We're updating our blogs today.
Updating our blogs. I write some funny stuff. What's your blog address?
Mine is RJ's Take at blogspot.com.
Okay, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Or .blogspot.com.
Okay, RJ's Take.blogspot.com. Mine is NexusDigitalComics.blogspot.com.
So, go check those out. All right, guys. See you. Next time we take a look at chrome-shelled Regios.
Did I tell you that I watched the very first episode that we did? And you stumbled. You didn't remember what the call thing was?
Yeah, I remember that.
What did you say?
Let's get it done.
Get it done. I was like, let's get it done. I like that. That's how we screwed up. That's
The first one, very
Yeah.
first episode. It'll be fun, like in years' time when we're like finally successful, whatever. We got our thing, whatever, and to watch those and like or like have kids and be like, this is what Daddy did. Daddy, these are horrible. I hate you now.
Well, kid, that's what got you your freaking allowance. So shut your mouth.
And we have lots of bloopers on every episode, but I think they're funny, so
Yeah.
put them in there.
Yeah, I think a year of Duel review has been a successful year.
Other reviewers are professional enough; they only have bloopers once a week. We have them every day.
Yeah, they're not as cool as us. We screw up often,
That's right.
and then we let you know about it. See, that's
Exactly,
the thing.
yeah.
We let you know that we screw up. We're okay with it.
We wouldn't have a show.
This entire year has been one long screw up.
With bits of genius in between.
Okay.
Vapors.
I'm steamy. You cut off before the thing ended before you finished, so I don't know if you want to redo part of what you were saying.
Because just ruined the ending. And see you later! And then you don't let us fade out. You're like, so, I had something in my ass the other day. It really sucked. I had to pick it out. Have you heard that story? Oh, man. I like it. There was a period in my life where I kept hearing that people have like parasites in them, like tapeworms or whatever. But so I took like this medication, like you're supposed to take it for like a month, and it like cleans you out, makes sure there's no parasites in you. This is why I took it, because I heard a story about some dude. I think it was on TV, like the 50 strangest things or grossest things in somebody's body, whatever. It was really just a tapeworm, but the way he described it, because he was like, there was something moving down there, whatever. While I was taking relieving myself, number 2, and so I